Folks, security, identity, and compliance in AWS. Here's the blog page that kind of gives you a general understanding around the security tools that you can tap into and how you can utilize them with your different accounts. And so we'll take a look at this blog page here.
We've got a couple of other specific cloud services that's important to understand, either the topics or use cases and how that relates back to the exam. Things like protecting our data, compliance, network and application protection.
Absolutely. As we look to our logs, really. And when I think about CloudTrail logs, it watches what's happening through identity and access management. Imagine one of those policies being connected to one of those principles, like a user or a role. And that role is taking action, or that user is taking action. You have an opportunity now to say, I know exactly what API call you're making. Maybe now I can go ahead and change the policy, right? You would utilize, let's say, CloudTrail logs to other services that can handle remediation better for you, right? Let's look at what else we got here. We got data protection and compliance. Coach, I know you spent some time in the security arena and the security industry. And how do you feel about compliance when you consider some AWS account?
I think the thing with how AWS makes it very seamless in our artifacts, right? So in the console, if you type artifacts or compliance, you'd be able to go and see and download the different artifacts that's available to you, right? So whether you're looking for FISMA compliance or FedRAMP compliance, or trying to meet NIST standards and guidance, traditionally we're going to provide you a artifact or a PDF document for you to download how those controls are being met. It ties back to that shared responsibility model. Remember, AWS is responsible for its infrastructure that it's providing for you. And so we've got to provide you documentation about how other auditors have come in to attest to how these controls are being safeguarded. And so that's what the artifact documentation is. Now, compliance also means something different depending upon the industry that you're in. So what sector you're in may matter. Financial sector may be heavily guarded around ensuring PCI data is compliant or safeguarded in a certain way. If you're in the healthcare sector, HIPAA might be the guidance and compliance standards that you need to follow. If you're looking at ISO standards or NIST cybersecurity standards or Cloud Security Alliance standards, all of these different frameworks tend to overlap with one another to, again, safeguard and protect your data. How you go about communicating or articulating that based upon those controls that are required will differ, but they all lead to the same place: securing your data, right? That's what we're here to do. And just to help you understand where you can find documentation online in the console to help you in being able to answer the questions that you need.
Absolutely. And so this is a good site, folks. You have an opportunity to be well-rounded in your understanding about security, right? Reading this blog really dives a little bit deeper into what you can do as far as security. And when I think about networking application protection, that's for a whole nother session. I mean, we're going to dive into domain 3, which really is a deeper dive into networking and VPCs and security groups and stuff that you may or may not be familiar with already. But I think, Coach, this is good to leave folks with, and it ties right back into our exam guide for the Cloud Practitioner. So I'll go over to the exam guide really quickly. And what you'll see is that we hovered over task statement 2.1, but when you consider the blog page that we just left, understanding cloud security and governance and compliance, it was there, right? So you can use it as a tool to brush yourself up on some information in regards to the exam. Task statement 2.3, identity and access management capabilities. We just talked about that briefly in the beginning of this video. And then 2.4 is the last task statement that kind of considers additional capabilities, right? Security capabilities. And again, that's what that blog page is for. So I think that you got some tools here, right? And we need to expound even more, and you can expect more from videos to come. But I just want to say thanks so much, folks, for hanging out with us. I'm Ariel Boyd, and it was great hanging out with you. You got any final statements there, Coach?
I think you did a great job wrapping this up. I appreciate it. And compliance and security and governance, and that's my heart, right? I think that's in my DNA, at least, right? But at the end of the day, it's understanding where you can go and find this information. Whether you're directly in the management console, you can simply type in security, you can type in artifacts, you can pretty much type in anything, and it's going to provide you with documentation, services, other blogs, other resources that are there directly within the console. You don't have to worry about looking for it online or searching for it somewhere else. And we'll show you some other cool features as we within our subsequent videos. For right now, I think you've done a great job in outlining and bringing it back to the exam guide and just taking us forward.
Sounds good. See you later, folks. Until the next time.